$1,400 stimulus check. Did they make a mistake? I have all the details and everything you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. All right, so believe it or not, stimulus checks continue to be a very hot topic for discussion and for debate. So in this video, we want to specifically talk about a $1,400 stimulus check and some of the new information that I just came across. Now, of course, after I share this information with you, I would love to hear your feedback down below in the comments section if you're comfortable sharing. So with that being said, let's get into it right away. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can continue to keep you updated each and every day with all of this new information as it is hitting the wire. Things are changing very rapidly right now, and as your one and only daily advocate, I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue finding all the latest information, breaking it all down into these short videos so that you can stay updated with everything going on. And anytime that money, benefits, programs, checks, or anything else hits the table or is introduced, I want to make sure that you know about it and everything you need to do to take advantage of these programs right away. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the video. All right, so like I said, it is still a very hot topic right now, stimulus checks. In fact, I'm coming across information on stimulus checks every single day. Yes, there's still a lot of information out there right now. Now, I think all of us can probably agree. When the last 3 stimulus checks went out, the $1,200, the $600, and the $1,400, it was incredibly helpful for the short amount of time that we had it in our possession until we paid all the outstanding bills, we paid the rent, we paid anything we needed to at the time. Maybe we picked up a few things from the store, whatever it happened to be, but as soon as the money was gone, it was like, oh, that was nice while it lasted, but it was usually very short-lived for a lot of people, right? Well, as a result of that, there's some information circling around out there right now, which I do want to share with you in this video. So again, let me share this with you, and then again, I'd love to hear from you down below based on your opinions and what you're actually thinking about all this. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 separate schools of thought about stimulus checks right now, just like everything, right? There's always multiple different schools of thought, multiple different people with their opinions and everything like that. But I want to share this with you because I think it's actually kind of interesting. All right, so one school of thought is people need more money right now. The economy is slowing down. Things are kind of, not very good right now, depending on who you ask. A lot of things are very weird right now. People are struggling. People can't pay their bills. Not enough food on the table. There's people that are going into foreclosures. Foreclosures are spiking right now. Evictions are going up. At the same time, credit card delinquencies are also rising. There's all kinds of different things going on. So, of course, the people in this school of thought are saying, we need extra money right now, or maybe not everybody, but, a percentage of the population, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 million people in this country need additional money. So that is one side of the equation. I think many of us here in this community are thinking, yeah, you're right. A percentage of the people, whether it's 20 million or 50 million people, whatever it happens to be, needs additional money right now because, things are really tight right now, especially those people living on a fixed income. The money just simply doesn't go as far these days, as we've talked about so many times and across all the different reports that we've talked about right here on the channel over the last year or so, right? A lot of different information that's been coming out. However, so that's one school of thought, and I think many of us here in this community probably buy into that to some degree. Whether we agree fully or we agree to some portions of it, I think all of us can probably agree, yes, some people, low income and fixed income, need additional money, need additional checks. Now, on the other hand, there's this other school of thought that says, no, we do not need more checks. That's the last thing we need right now. And in fact, the report that I just came across is basically pointing toward exactly that. They're coming out saying, was the $1,400 stimulus check that was sent out a year ago, back in March and April of 2021, was that a huge mistake? Because here's why. The report is actually kind of interesting. Now, again, I like to read things from both sides. The reason for that, it kind of gives me a balanced perspective as far as what is actually going on. If I only read information from one side, well, then I get kind of a biased opinion, right? Well, I don't want to do that. I want to be as neutral as I possibly can to bring you the best information. So I just came across this report, and the report said the $1,400 checks from last year possibly could have been the biggest mistake out of Congress and the administration. Now, one more thing. I just want to make it very clear. I'm not here taking sides against the administration with or for them. No, that's the same thing. Sorry, with or against. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, trying to get it straight here. Sorry. My point is, I'm not here taking political sides. I'm simply giving you the information that I'm finding out there. But anyway, this is what the report was saying. This may have been, again, according to this report, this is not my opinion. According to this report, they said the $1,400 check may have been the worst thing that they could have done. And here's why, the reasoning behind it within this report. They're simply saying the $1,400 check that was sent out to about 85% of our population was meant to help people, but the very people that it was meant to help are actually struggling the absolute most right now as a result of that $1,400 check. Here's why. They're actually pointing the vast majority of this inflation that we're dealing with right now, of course, as a result of the last report that came out a few weeks ago, the latest inflation report is sitting at 8.5%. So here's the thing. The report was going on to say that the very people that this check was supposed to help and support is actually hurting them the absolute most right now because of rising inflation. And the report went on to say that we have not even seen anywhere close to the peak of inflation. They said, get ready. This thing is going to peak out here over the next few months, and it's going to be well over 10%. Again, I'm not an economist, I'm not an analyst, I'm not an expert, but based on everything that we're seeing right now, it's probably likely that we're going to see over 10% inflation. So we'll have to see. Only time will tell, as I've said so many times in previous videos. But basically the report was saying that those people that were supposed to be helped and supported by these $1,400 checks that were sent out in early 2021 are actually having the reverse effect right now. Yes, at the time, the money was great and it helped out short term. But the problem is, here we are sitting here over a year later, and the inflation is digging in and actually basically recovering all that money, the $1,400, plus even more because of the rapid inflation as a result of what they're saying the $1,400 checks actually produced. So again, I'm not here taking sides with this. I don't know the right answer. I'm not really sure. We could point the finger for all this inflation based on many different things. However, I want to throw this out there as well, just to put everything into perspective so that we can see the whole picture rather than just maybe one varying opinion, right? Again, we got to look at the whole picture. We can't just look at one article, one piece of information. Let me lay this out there. In the last 2 years alone, they printed, as in the Federal Reserve, the federal government, right? They approved and they printed over $6 trillion of stimulus. Between all the different stimulus packages and all these different things that were going on out there, they printed over $6 trillion of brand new money. Let me put this out there. Out of that $6 trillion, there was less than $1 trillion. In fact, less than $900 billion. There was about $844 billion of that money that was actually sent out in the form of stimulus checks between the $1,200, the $600, and the $1,400. So of the $6 trillion that was printed, $844 billion of it was sent out in the form of stimulus checks. So what is that percentage? I'm going to be honest with you. I did not run the mathematics on that one. I don't know the exact percentage on that. I guess I could do that for you. But my point is, I don't know the percentage, but it is a very small percentage, right? What is it? Maybe 12%? Roughly doing some mental math here, maybe 12% or so. So my point is, with that being said, of the $6 trillion that was spent, $1 trillion of it went out in PPP loans for small businesses, which, by the way, that was forgivable loans that did not need to be paid back. There were hundreds of billions of dollars that went out in unemployment, the extra unemployment money that went out. Remember that? The $600 boost that they were sending out for about 40 million unemployed people at the time. Hundreds of billions of dollars there, close to $1 trillion. There was all kinds of different money going out the door for all kinds of different projects, and $844 billion of it was actually encompassed within the 3 stimulus checks. So I guess, let me ask you, what do you think? Did the 3 stimulus checks accounting for about $844 billion, do you think that is what is actually causing all this inflation? Or do you think it's the other, maybe, I don't know, $5.5 trillion that had gone out to all these other things, including unemployment benefits, business loans, business grants, you name it, there was money going out the door for pretty much everything. You kind of remember all that, right? It was just like money everywhere, right? Basically being dropped out of the sky from helicopters. You know, obviously, metaphorically. Not really, that'd be super cool, right? I think we'd all be running around grabbing it out of the sky. Pretty fun, right? But obviously that was not literally happening. But let me know your thoughts down below because, again, just like everything, there's always a couple different opinions. There's always different schools of thought. But this article that I came across was saying this may have been the worst thing that actually could have happened simply because it gave short-term relief, short-term money supply into the pockets of the people that needed it. But long-term, it's actually hammering on these people the most because of the low incomes, the fixed incomes, and rapidly rising prices, and therefore it's basically just taking back the $1,400 that was sent out plus significantly more. Because this inflation thing, it's a slow process, right? It goes up quickly and it probably goes down relatively slowly. We do know that the Federal Reserve is starting to work on this, but again, raising interest rates, that's not going to do much for us either. It just means that any of us that have outstanding loans with an adjustable rate of any kind, it just means we're going to be paying more in interest there. So again, another way that money is being taken out of our pockets to pay for essentially air, right? It's basically what you're getting with interest rates, is right? You're paying for pretty much nothing. You get nothing in return other than maybe a statement. That's about it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Do you think the stimulus checks were potentially leading to all this inflation that we're dealing with now? Or do you think they should give us more? Oh, by the way, this is also another school of thought out there as well. Other people out there are saying we need to actually send out more stimulus to actually get ahead of all the inflation. Remember that? We've talked about that before as well. So that's another idea out there right now saying, how do you actually get ahead of all this inflation? Well, you print more money and you pump it into the system and you send it out to the people in the form of stimulus checks to help them get ahead of all of these rapidly rising prices. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you down below. I always appreciate your comments. I always appreciate the conversations down below. This is just another report out there, but who knows what will happen out there going forward as far as Congress and the administration. Seriously, if the economy continues to slow down at the pace that it is right now, there may be some interesting things coming out, but only time will tell, as I always like to say. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,400 plus videos right here on the channel. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the